Alright, what is going on everyone? Crypto Mac here, bringing you guys another crypto video. Today we're going to take a look at Sand or Sandbox. So stay tuned. It's just broken out of a falling wedge. And there's a lot of exciting news at the moment with the alpha game getting released in 12 hours from now. So I just want to do a quick update video on this coin, what I think it's going to do moving forward, especially upon the release of the Sandbox game. So I just want to say this is not financial advice, so please do your own research. Let's just look at the chart firstly. And as I said, we were in this falling wedge. I made a video on this yesterday and I think the day before and I think the day before that, talking about this. How long has been going for a few days. So I've been talking about this in the last couple of videos, I know, about this falling wedge, saying that we should get a breakout to the upside, hopefully, and start a move forward again. So if we take the our price target, I've already posted on my Twitter. If you want to follow my Twitter, links in the description. And we've hit this target pretty much perfectly. Right, we've hit our target. Happy days. It's good to see. Just straightforward. This kind of happened mostly from Bitcoin deciding to have a decent run, and it's still going as we speak. So the good news of this is that we've seen Sand take a considerable correction of 32%, which is important because you can't have a coin consistently just go up and up and up without corrections. And once we had this big move, well, we saw two main corrections early. 40%, that's good. 40%, and then it went parabolic again. Another 130% move. And from here, we finally had a slow correction, which is healthy for the market. It was a 41% move. About the same. And as I said, it was slower. Allows accumulation period before it decides to move again. And it did. We had this big move. If we take it from the bottom, was a 260% move with only really this kind of 20% correction. So mostly it wasn't a big correction at all. So it was due for a pullback, and we finally saw that here with a nice 31% move, which is decent. It's pretty significant. It's enough for Sand to say, okay, well, we've had our correction, now we can move again. And the best part about it is it found itself within this falling wedge, which is a bullish formation. Bullish pattern, meaning that it's likely to break to the upside and start a trend back up, which is what we've seen. And so now that we've hit this line, our target for this wedge, well, where to now? Honestly, I think it's going to just depend what Bitcoin decides to do. So just a quick look at Bitcoin. It's currently trading at 57,700, which is really good. Almost hit 58,000, so it's still on this upward move. I don't know if it's done yet. We might settle and just move sideways for a bit. I'm not sure where it's going to land itself though. And we talked about this in yesterday's videos, how we hit this line here. If we take the log version of this graph, we hit this line. So we have 3 touch points, 1 down here, 2, and 3. Meaning this could be the bottom for this big correction that we've seen, and having this big move back up is obviously very bullish and looks good. So as I said, if Bitcoin decides to go even higher, then I think Sand could just, run through again. And once we break this $8.50 mark, which is only $1 away, well, Sand enters price discovery mode. And what does that mean? Well, it means it can go really high. And it means, speculatively, we could see another run of these bull flags, because this is effectively another bull flag right here. If we look at it, it's more so just because a bull flag is a line followed by a descending wedge, right? A big move followed by a wedge like this. Like, that's your bull flag. We had 1, 2, 3, and then a fourth one. So what we saw from the first 3 was the line got steeper. We talked about this. The line got steeper every time, and the length of the wedge got shortened all 3 times. That's not sustainable, because the steeper you go, well, before you know it, Sand will just go literally straight up. So it's not sustainable, and also, usually you don't see the time get shorter. They last in a descending wedge just because of diminishing returns. So eventually we saw this play out where we had a longer correction, a longer time spent in the wedge. But at the end of the day, you could still classify it as a bull flag if you wanted. And we saw the move here. And so what you could say is, well, we've had our move again. Let's take it from here so we have a nice flag. And then you could say, well, maybe we might just find ourselves in another descending wedge. which would mean we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're looking at our 5th bull flag. I spoke about this in yesterday's video. I'm like, there's a chance this could play out, that we could just get another bull flag. I mean, it's not like overly likely. I was saying this when we were down here as well on the bottom, on the lower side of the wedge. Down here, I was saying we could just get a correction, not a correction, sorry, we could just get a run. Sand could just break out and find itself in another bull flag. And right now, we could see ourselves there for sure, you know. If Bitcoin decides to go even higher, well, it could just be a very short one. Maybe something like we saw here. That's 12 hours, three candles, 12 hours. So we could just find ourselves in a real short one before it decides to go again. And the next move here would take us to $9.40, break through that all-time high. And once we're through there, we're in price discovery mode. We can go really high and really soar. That's something to see. Now, the thing to say with sand, with the alpha game getting released in, I had a look, it's 12 hours from now, basically. Maybe by the time I post this video, it's a little less than 12 hours, but it's coming soon. So what to expect from that? I can't say for sure what's going to happen. I can't tell you what's going to happen. I'm just going to refresh my page. You can't predict exactly what's going to happen with something like that. It's probably likely to say we'll see a correction. We'll see a bit of a dump, potentially. And maybe this one will be a significant dump as well, right? There's a chance that happens. Let me just draw this line in again. But there's a chance we do see a significant correction. As I said, this one was only, it was 32%, which isn't small, but it's not extreme. We could see a 40, 50, 60% correction. We could see a 61% correction, 62, something big like this, and would take us back down to this line. Not that one, this one. This line, and we could get support on this line. A big fall, get support on this line, and then start to move back up. Which this is back down at $3, $2.80. It's just something to consider. I can't tell what's going to happen. I'm just looking at the possibilities. We could see a massive fall of big magnitude. We could see a pump. You could see a pump. You don't know. Especially if Bitcoin, it also depends what Bitcoin's doing at that time. Like, if it gets released and Bitcoin's pumped to 60, 65K, which is probably unlikely in 12 hours, 65K Bitcoin, but it could be 60K, 61,000 maybe. And if that's the case, then Sandbox could have already had a big move. I'll pull this out. It could have already had a big move up to here. And then the correction, well, might come down to this level, let's say, which if we look at that, that's a 50% move. And we'd find ourselves nicely at $5. Or if Bitcoin is still pumping at that time, well, Sand might not correct as much as we think, or Sand could even just pump, even when the game gets released, and it could be a delayed. We might have to wait a day or two until we see Sand finally have a big drop from the game release. Again, I'm just speculating. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. I'm just going to watch it and see what happens. You know, if there is a big pullback, I might dollar cost in if that happens, but you can't just expect a big pullback. The price could go up when that happens. It's just something to expect. So as I said, the other thing to look at, if we look more long term for Sand, well, if Bitcoin plays out this falling wedge and moves up over the next few weeks to 68,000, I think that'd be extremely bullish for Sand. And I mean, well, if that happens, all-time high will be hit, and we could go. Sand can go just a lot higher. Depending on what happens again on the release of the launch. So if we do see a big move from this launch, I'll probably do another update video on Sand and just see how it's moving. Discuss what's happening with it. But yeah, as I said, definitely got to watch Bitcoin right now, see what it does. Let's hope we don't just fall back into this wedge. That would not be good. I'm happy to come down and test a line of support and confirm the breakout. That'd be very nice indeed. But yeah, just something to watch. Anyways, let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen with Sand, how it's going to move. Please like the video, comment, subscribe, share the video with friends, and I'll catch you later, guys. Enjoy.